Half the fight is finding that thing to fight for sometimes. Life's worth it, man. Life's worth it, don't give up.
Nick Kraft's about to pull up, excited to have him on today. He is one of my closest friends, huge inspiration to myself and everybody here. He had a hard time getting started at the gym, but I called his bluff and he pulled up finally. This is about a year and a half ago and he's been here every day since. I say some people live for their excuses. Some people kind of live by their excuses. This guy lives in spite of his excuses. Very accomplished contractor, auto mechanic, works on classic cars. He does all these things even though he's had a traumatic event. The minute he walks in the gym, it takes away everybody else's excuses. Like I said, walking inspiration, so much to say, you gotta meet this guy. If you ever come to the gym, just stop and talk to him. I'd say, very much the heart and soul of CALABASAS. So tell me, how did you find Kraft, the gym?
I started boxing in another gym and the pandemic shut it down. Obviously, I was going through a lot of surgeries. I didn't even have a prosthetic leg then, so I was just on crutches, hopping on one foot, and my foot would start hurting, so I had them lower a bag to the ground, and I would sit on the ground, and I'd just sit there and punch. I got friends that are in wheelchairs and everything like that, and they told me they'd kick my ass if they ever saw me in a wheelchair. So I've never been in a wheelchair. Yeah. I was on crutches, doing that and hopping around, just trying to get fit. And then the pandemic hit, and then I had a lot more surgery. I got pilled up on painkillers. I got messed up, man, for quite a bit. Luckily, I went through some of my last rounds of surgeries, and that's right when you guys opened up. I got a hold of you. You called me like, I'm George Foreman. I'm like, what, like the heavyweight boxer?
I don't know if I've ever asked you specifically what happened, and maybe I did, and maybe you told me, but what happened?
So I was riding my Harley, and fortunate event, girl came around the corner over a double yellow, and that was all she wrote. Took my leg off in the street, hit the ground, landed on the ground, looked down. My boot was facing my face on my chest. I pushed it off, realized half my leg went with it, looked down, fire hosing, blood everywhere. And I also do scuba diving. I did that for years on the weekends. All the training actually kicked in. First thing, don't panic. Panic kills everybody. Some guy came up and we called 911 and everything. And ambulance showed up. I never passed out. A nice woman stopped. She had like a space blanket. I just told her, tell my family I love them. It was a really beautiful day. It was a really eerie thing too, making peace. And I just remember like an eerie calm coming over my whole body. Like everything felt okay. It's weird to think about now, but like I was totally okay. I tried my best, at everything I do. Got to the hospital and that was it. Woke up a day or two later and started my next part of my life, next chapter. Hardest part of the transition, honestly, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I think things would have been a little bit different, but yeah, it was just a waiting period, like going through all the surgeries, the uncertainty of like, when am I getting the leg, sitting at home. I have real highs and real lows. Like I went through some real bad bouts of depression and everything like that. And a lot of it was brought on by the pain meds and all the nerve drugs. I was in and out. People would come and visit me. I wouldn't remember. That was hard. I wasn't addicted to them, but my body was dependent on them at that point. Yeah, them drugs was no joke. It made me sick. Cramps, throwing up, all the bad stuff. And fighting through all that and just doing it. But luckily I have beautiful daughters and I have my family, and like that was my motivation. I wasn't fighting for myself necessarily.
Would you say that having something to fight for would help anchor your mental health, your emotional health, that you had something to get up for?
Half the fight is finding that thing to fight for sometimes. Life's worth it, man. Life's worth it, don't give up. Everybody's got their struggles. When I come here, all the people I've met at this gym, there's people going through cancer stuff that I couldn't even imagine going through. And they say I motivate them, they motivate me. Craft boxing's like a family here, and this ain't a normal gym. I never experienced, anything like this, the positivity, everything about it.
Are you aware of how many people you inspire? And I just find it interesting that you may be having a tough time, but when I see you walk in, I'm just like, holy shit, this guy's crushing it.
What's funny is I'm here because they're here. They motivate me. I'm glad that anything positive that I can get out of this, if it helps anybody else, that's amazing too. But I think all those people don't realize just being here helps motivate me.
Has there been an unexpected silver lining?
I enjoy who I am now. I've grown and learned so much about myself in life as a man. Honestly, right after my accident, I had friends and family that were at the Shriners Hospital, and they're like, hey, come meet the kids. They brought me there right when I got out of the hospital. First thing I saw was a 4-year-old girl missing both her legs, 2 prosthetic Nike feet, trying to run down the hall and kick a ball. She didn't care that she didn't have legs. She was just being a kid. She just wanted to play and get out there, and that right there, that day, that's how I need to be. A 4-year-old girl changed my life. I'm not gonna look at myself as disabled. I'm gonna look at myself as, I'm just gonna go do life. I'm gonna do everything again. I scuba dive with sharks. I went through my dive master program again. I got certified as a professional dive rescuer, one-legged through 2 different programs. I feel better now, technically, than I ever did in my whole life.